Hey everybody, Ultimate Oddball here. Today I want to talk about the importance of media representation for autistic people. You may have noticed that only a few people or characters tend to come up when autism is mentioned. Two of the most common are Rain Man, referencing Dennis Hoffman's character Raymond Babbitt in the film of the same name, and Dr. Temple Grandin, the successful self-advocate, author, and professor in animal science. If you ask someone who doesn't follow the autistic advocacy community, it's likely that this is where their list ends. This creates some major issues, one of which is that when people think of autism, they only have two examples. The diversity among autistic people is well established, and this idea that the autism spectrum is one-dimensional perpetuates judgment and frustration towards autistic people from others and even from within. Because the list is so limited, people in general make assumptions about how an autistic person acts and what their strengths and difficulties are or should be. The situation is made even more problematic when you consider that Dennis Hoffman's character in Rain Man is associated with autistic savantism, but in reality Kim Peek, who was the basis of the character, was determined to have FG syndrome after his death. The character which nearly everyone associates with autism wasn't autistic at all. On top of that, savantism is relatively quite rare in general, so the stereotype is detrimental in that people tend to assume that autistic individuals all have some type of special abilities. It's important to remember that all autistic people matter, whether they have savant-like abilities or not. On the other end, we have Dr. Grandin, who is tremendously successful. She has reached a level of success that many people, regardless of whether they're autistic or not, are not likely to reach. Expecting autistic people to reach the same level simply by virtue of also being autistic is ridiculous and an unfair expectation. There are a ton of non-autistic people who have done amazing things in life, but that doesn't mean that every non-autistic person is expected to do just as well simply by virtue of not being autistic. Everyone has their own path in life, and the inherent value of a human being is not determined by what goods they produce or by the work they do. The importance of accurate media representation cannot be overstated, both for the general populace as well as for autistic people. Positive, accurate representation helps to dispel stereotypes and misconceptions, while displaying the variation present in autistic individuals. It can be used to increase education and acceptance, as well as illustrate the experiences that people who aren't autistic may not go through themselves. Realistic autistic characters give autistic people someone to identify with. There are so few autistic characters at this point that many autistic individuals end up identifying with Groot from Guardians of the Galaxy, or other characters which aren't actually autistic, but are often robots, aliens, or in some way other. I don't think it's bad to identify with these characters, but it would be nice if we didn't have to use analogous characters simply because there aren't very many autistic ones. Well, thanks so much for watching, thanks for coming by, and have a great day.
Hey everybody, Ultimate Oddball here. If you want to stay up to date with my videos, click subscribe. I release a new video on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I do gaming commentary and review. I talk about my experiences on the autism spectrum, and I share my opinions and thoughts on a variety of matters. My hope is that, through my videos, I can help to dispel some of the misinformation, confusion, and negativity people have regarding autism. Thank you for helping me do that by watching these videos.